Syracuse's first win against Miami since 1998, and Miami eliminated from the ACC championship game. All right, back here with Emory Hunt and Chip Patterson. And are you kidding me? They were up 21-0, and Miami lost this game. How did they lose this game and lose a spot in the CFP? Because they're not getting in now, because you had to go play for the ACC title game.
Remember when we did our playoff simulator, you and I said Miami's going to run the table, go to the national championship?
You did.
Maybe I was tripping.
You were.
But at the end of the day, this is all about Miami's defense. They gave up 10.5 yards per pass. They were 7 out of 10 on third downs. They couldn't stop the pass. They couldn't get off the field on third downs. When they tried to run blitz, they couldn't get home. They ran right past the runner. And overall, they just looked undisciplined on defense. Because, again, we're not worried about Miami scoring the ball and moving the ball up and down the field. They do that consistently. That's the one consistent part about their football team. But defensively, usually you'll be able to count on Miami's defense being able to impose their will on the opposing team, or teams come in afraid to go up against a hurricane defense. There's usually one pass rusher. There's usually somebody you don't want to throw against. None of that is on display here for Miami, and the defense is the reason why they may not make the playoffs, but if they do, may not be able to go far, because you got to be able to stop people.
Yeah, I mean, this to me seems like it's kind of been Miami's DNA. I mean, this has been a defense that has given up so many points that it has required the kind of heroics that have come with multiple double-digit second-half comebacks in a single season. You know, the fact that they go down by these big deficits and then Cam Ward leads them all the way back, you knew that they were playing with fire, and Emory knows they were playing with fire, and I know, and Hakeem knows. So why in the world did Mario Cristobal kick a field goal when you knew your defense wasn't getting stops? Why did you think that with an opportunity to try to tie this ball game, instead you're going to be able to just take the points, get a stop, get the ball back, and score again? In the second half, Miami's offense was not clicking as well as it was early on, and you knew that your defense was just continuing to get shredded by Kyle McCord. So in the macro, this is Miami. The bill was due for all of the defensive shortcomings that we've seen against Virginia Tech, against Duke, against multiple teams throughout this year. But in the micro, it was Mario Cristobal once again getting bit by something that has been, you know, kind of a buzzy narrative. It has been squashed for a lot of this season, but the game management decisions, I thought that field goal kick was a very, very poor one, and one that I think that you might like back given the way that things finished.
Well, they had 9 penalties for 90 yards. That's good.
That's on par for Miami in any era.
Right. But that you got to change that if you want to be a contender. If you want to win, because, look, this was setting up to be a really great season. And not to take away anything from Miami's season, but you were going to be in this college football playoff. Are you putting them in?
Based on what we saw the last...
They'd have to be in that. They're not going to the ACC title game.
They'll have to be in that large.
We've talked, Chip and I, and we talked about that the ACC, unfortunately, is only a one-bid conference. If Miami and SMU were in, maybe both get in. But it's not that. It's now SMU and Clemson.
Well, the way things have transpired in college football, not only just last night with the 19 overtime game between Georgia and Georgia Tech, but also what we've seen today.
I missed the other 8.
You missed the other 8, though? Yeah, you had to stay up. You got to stay up past 2 a.m.
I missed 11 overtimes.
Miami is a team that is entertaining. You know how I'm going with this. It's a TV product. Yep. You may see Cam Ward in New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony as a finalist. And definitely you kind of want that name brand in. They do play a fun brand of football, but it doesn't equate to winning a national championship. And I do feel like everything will shake out how it's supposed to, and we'll see them probably having to go on a road in the postseason in the first round. What I will say is this: Miami losing is the fact that now you may get Boise with a bye as the number 4 seed.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that happening. But look, now Chip, you get Clemson getting into the ACC title backdoor situation. They lose to South Carolina, and now they're playing for the ACC title against Rhett Lashley's team that averages 39 points per game.
Clemson has won 7 ACC titles in Bank of America Stadium since 2015. There's going to be a lot of orange there. There'll probably be some SMU fans excited to be there as well. But if I'm SMU, Clemson's a team I don't want to face, especially an angry Clemson team that does have a defensive front that might be among the best that I've faced the entire season, that has a quarterback in Cade Klubnik who might be able to go toe-for-toe with Kevin Jennings. But I'll tell you what, those Miami Hurricanes are big SMU fans, because if Miami's going to get into this college football playoff, here is the path. They need SMU to get Clemson out the paint. They need Texas A&M to have absolutely no seats at the table. They need to make sure that there are a few other losses ahead of them, but I don't think Miami is totally out of this. But what they are is they are missing out on an unbelievable opportunity, because the Miami Hurricanes have been in the Atlantic Coast Conference for 20 years, and not once have they won the ACC, and only once have they had a chance to play for the ACC championship. That was back in 2017. The turnover chain, a really, really nasty defense, but an offense that you just couldn't trust. In that game, Clemson put a number up Miami couldn't reach, and this is why this stings. You had the quarterback, Miami. You had the player. You had somebody who's a superstar that could go and lead you to an ACC championship, something that this proud program has not had in 20 years of being a part of this conference, and you let it slip away. And you let it slip away on the last Saturday of the regular season on the road in the Dome. So winners get washed. Congrats to Fran Brown and Syracuse, but Miami really, really let this one go.
Did this perhaps open the door for Alabama? Because we talk about the product, right, Emory? Like, Chip, this is right. They were on the outside looking in at 13 coming in. Clemson loses to South Carolina.
Yeah, and the South Carolina beats Clemson.
Yeah.
So now the South Carolina win looks really good.
Of course.
Right? So now they all start to move up. You know, a high Crimson Tide raises all boats, and you just start to see those teams drift a little bit closer to the cut line. I don't think, as long as, you know, Indiana is a one-loss team, they're going to get jumped. Well, buddy, that'll be the conversation. That'll be the debate. That's going to be a frustrating one for a lot of fans.
You put in a 2-loss Miami squad or a 3-loss South Carolina or 3-loss Alabama squad. That's what's going to get down to the nitty-gritty. The second to last CFP rankings coming out on Tuesday. We, of course, will be here with plenty of reaction.